Okay, good morning, everyone. Money Talk Tuesday. This is going to be kind of some tough conversation today. Don't you agree, Megan?
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but it's going to be healthy. I mean, if you can stick with this and kind of self-reflect for yourself, I think you can come out on the other end in a much more comfortable spot.
Yes. So everybody knows me. I'm business coach Nancy. I coach service-based entrepreneurs, interior designers, other coaches and consultants. And here's the thing. I'm going to say 75% of my clients, when they first come to me and I ask them to fill out a questionnaire when they start coaching with me, and part of that questionnaire is, what have you made last year? What do you want to make moving forward? And often this locks people up right away, because what it does for them, and it brings up all kinds of feelings of maybe being inadequate in the past, never being able to afford what they wanted to afford, or always struggling. And as we know, wealth is not all about money. But these particular questions make you feel like, now I have to face it. I have to face the fact that perhaps as a business owner, I've never gotten comfortable with the money conversation and charging my worth and like really owning it, right? So you must face this all the time, Megan. As a virtual CFO, you deal with my clients' money, right? Plus, this must be a topic that comes up all the time for you, their money story in the past.
Constantly, right? I mean, that's what I do, like day in and day out, is like mapping out what is the word enough is if you come at the perspective of I don't have enough, you will never have enough. But if you were to lay out what would enough look like what is it that I'm really driving towards, your mindset shifts from what do I have to lose to what do I have to gain? What am I moving towards? And you're looking not at how high that mountain is that you want to climb. Mountains, that's Glacier Park. But if you can like look back at the baby steps and the progress that you have made in this quest, in this climb, it totally shifts from a loss to I'm doing it. I'm making progress and I'm learning along the way. And part of that is embracing that discomfort and knowing why it feels so icky and so bad right now. And naming it. Oh, there's a difference between like sticking your head in the sand when something feels gross, or turning around and looking at that thing that you're running from and saying, why do you feel so gross? Why is that the thing that's making it so bleh right now? And oh man, women especially, we give way more than what we're paid to give. Way more. Because we always think we're not giving enough. Right?
Well, yeah, and I think that when I start working with someone, we go pretty heavily, if this is one of their stumbling blocks or pain points, we go heavily into their money story, their story in the past, what's happened to them, I'm going to say in quotes, or what they've lived, and now their perception around that, right? The learned messages, the messages that then they've reinforced over the way they've lived their life. And the good news is it's totally reversible.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally I have goosebumps, right? Because there's so many of my clients that are in such pain in the beginning about being living a financially scarce life, being afraid to live as if, and giving themselves permission to learn about it and face it and go through that pain that you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's totally doable.
Yeah, and I mean, totally guilty of like living in this lack, this not enoughness, and like really examining where it came from and why I felt that way. Even with, I mean, look around that how terrible people's lives could be, and how these holes that get dug and things that are beyond their control. And actually, Aaron File gave me this exercise right when COVID hit, and it was life-changing as to, okay, Megan, if you became financially destitute, like truly financially destitute, all the spigots were turned off of income, what would happen? And that question just sat like a lump. And I was like, really, Aaron, you want me to answer these questions? That's no, absolutely not. That's just, there's no answer. There's no good thing that would come of that. And I sat in it for about a half hour and I did the exercise and I didn't want to. And I wrote down 50 things good that would happen if just no cash coming in, we're done. And by the end of the conversation, I'm like calling my husband, like, oh my gosh, you know what we should do? We should file bankruptcy. This is gonna be so good. You know, there are ways to expunge our like student loan debt. You know, we could do this, and just like opening up to what do I have to gain, even if I were financially destitute. Like the creativity, if I could find a way, it's perception, right? It's not reality. Your reality is do you have food on the table? Am I starving to death? Am I on the brink of starvation? No.
Right.
Am I unsafe? Am I going to be eaten by a bear because I have no shelter? No. What do I have to gain? If I have nothing, I have utter freedom in creativity, in new things that I've always wanted to try, in bravery. You get really brave. You do things when you're in the perspective of what do I have to gain? You get really brave because it's not like, oh, I'm risking something and I'm going to lose it. Totally turn that around.
Yeah, and I wish I had the book next to me because like part of me wants to run away. Do I have it over there? Yeah. Ooh, do I have it right over there? Hold on, let me see. Hold on.
No, I want to know what book you have.
Hold on.
Oh, I love books. I love learning new stuff here.
Okay, so one of my past coaches and gurus that I follow is Russell Brunson, ClickFunnels. And this book, You Suddenly Lose Everything, 30days.com. What would you do from day 1 to 30 to save yourself?
Wow, that book exists. That's cool.
So it's exactly what you're talking about, right? Notice how,
I have things
in here.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. What you're saying is so important, right? What would you do if you had, well, first of all, you look at all the blessings you actually do have. Like you said, you have food on the table, you have people who love you, you have the sky and the grass, and you have the ability to feel still. And this is so important. And you have the ability to figure it out in the most creative ways possible now, as if there were no limitations. And that's what's so fascinating, because if you go into the place of service, how what I do can serve others, you change your entire perspective on being able to change your money story around to say, I have value, and other people will exchange energy for that value, and energy is money, right? So they make money doing what they do best, then you make money. So it's they expend their energy and they get energy from doing what they do best, and now you get energy by way of money for doing what you do best. So if you look at everything as an exchange of energy as opposed to money, it sometimes removes that icky, like, I've never made money in the past. I've never been able to support myself. I've always had to rely on other people. I live every month, paycheck to paycheck. I'm always scraping. It allows you to go, you know what I do actually, there's a need for, and there are people out there who need this. Now, how can I present my services in a way that attracts people to me as opposed to getting stuck?
Right. And if you think that shift is going to be easy and painless and flawless, no, this pain, man, if you're not in pain, you're in trouble. That means you're complacent and nothing's going to change. And take that pain and be grateful for it and dig into why does it hurt? And then adjust, adapt.
Right, because, when you're working with me or working with you, we're going to hold your hand through this pain and go, okay, but we're going to tell you to sit in it for a little while. I'm going to tell you to journal about it because we want to figure out where it's coming from and we need to really get down to the core. It's a little bit like therapy, honestly, but getting people through it to be able to actually look at your numbers and understand what you need, what you want to make, right? It doesn't have to be, here's the other thing. It doesn't have to be $1 million, right? People are like, well, I don't want to be big, big, big. Okay, good. So just what do you feel you need to live a like a financially content life?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
So
different for everyone.
we're visiting friends out here in Montana and boondocks, Montana, and retired teacher friend of my husband's, and they live in a 18-foot by 18-foot cabin, and I've never seen happier people in my life.
Simple life.
Simple life. No, I'm not saying that that's for everybody. Everybody needs to move out into the boondocks and live in a tiny cabin, but stop comparing yourself to where others are at and really get down to the core of what's important to you.
Right, and
let's
there's
work
no
backwards
right or
from
wrong.
there. I'm more than happy to help you buy that 18-foot cabin. Let's go get it.
Yes.
Let's put a money target up there and make sure that we're not self-sabotaging and spending that money where we shouldn't be.
Right. No one's judging you the way you're judging you, right? And all you have to do is go, what do I want? What do I need? And whatever that is, whether it's really a high number or whether it's a more moderate number, it's your number. And now we're just here to help you get there. But it is partly looking at your money story and the messages that you've learned, the messages you've reinforced over the years. And if you're ready to make a change, we're here to tell you, yeah, it's going to be painful. It's not going to be easy, but you can do it.
Can I give them a task?
Absolutely.
Like, identify one thing, one habit, one repeating behavior that you can't seem to help. Like, every time I get my credit cards paid off, I go and fill them up again, or something like that. Every time I have a deposit come in from a client, I go and get a new wardrobe, or something like that. What is the habit that you wish you didn't do? Just one.
Okay. And it's funny because you're going with spending habits, and I'm thinking the one thing I want them to do, I'm going on the opposite side, which is why you and I make such a great team. When you're asking a client for the actual money that you deserve to do what you're being asked to do you hide behind email? Do you hide behind text? And do you let the client convince you to charge less than what you told them you needed to charge for that service? And that's what I want you to do, not back down. Practice that muscle of very kindly knowing that you're worth the money that you're asking for, and don't be negotiated with, and be okay to pass on that client if they want to try to move that needle, right? So yeah. I go more on the beginning of it, and you go more on the end of it. I think both are incredibly valuable.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to go take a cold, wet hike through some mountains today. And I'm going to come back, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and I'm looking forward to that discomfort. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to take a warm shower and put on dry, warm clothes and sit in front of a fire. So embrace the discomfort, because on the other side of it, it feels so good.
Yes. So we are here to tell you, when you face your money story and you really dig into what's causing it, what patterns you've developed over the years, what patterns and actual patterns of behavior, it's possible to reverse that and actually have incredible success and change that money story around and be able to afford the life you wish to have, whether it's a more simple life or a more extravagant life. We are not here to judge that. That's your decision. But we're here to tell you it's possible. So if you need help, growing your business to the next level. On my side is more the charge your worth and get your sales and marketing, or just really digging into your numbers directly and you don't feel like you need the business coaching side, reach out to Megan, right? She's a virtual CFO. She's amazing. She helps me with my money management, my knowledge of my bookkeeping and my accounting and understanding it better. And that's certainly your superpower. And you love numbers.
I do.
I love teaching people how to make the numbers. But when it comes to actually sitting and staring at my numbers, I go dazed over too, as you know. But anyway, I hope this helped somebody today. This is very common when people first come to me, that they get panicked over having to really look at their numbers and their habits in the past, and never feeling worth doing anything more than they've ever done, but yet having the desire to. So that's why I wanted to talk about this topic today, and Megan was the perfect person to talk about it.
My pleasure. This is fun.
Go enjoy your nice wet hike.
Well, I'm on the quest for blue-eyed grass. I found one blade the first day we were here, and I didn't have my camera with me, and blue-eyed grass is like really finicky, and so now I want to go find more, and I've been on miles and miles and miles, and I can't find it.
This New Yorker has no idea what you're talking about. What is blue-eyed grass?
It's this tiny little blade that looks like the most delicate blade of grass, and on top it has this tiny bluish purple flower that's about that big, and it's about that tall. Oh, so pretty, so pretty.
Wonder if they have that in New York anywhere. Not that I've ever noticed, but I'm doing, my goal is to look and start noticing nature more, because I run through life without noticing anything. So I've been doing my hiking and looking. So now I get to look for blue-eyed grass, which I doubt they have here, but I'll look.
Why not? Why not?
All right. Everybody go enjoy your Tuesday. If you came in late, please go back and listen. It's a really important subject for all of you who are stuck in, I'm going to call it financial stagnation, right?
Ooh, I like that. I'm going to write that down.
Write that down, financial stagnation. If you're stuck in financial stagnation, we are here to tell you that it doesn't have to be. So go back and listen from the beginning. And if you're watching on replay, hit replay and let us know what you think about what we talked about. And we'll see you next Tuesday for Money Talk Tuesday. Bye, Megan. Enjoy your hike.
I will.
Bye, everyone.